Hello, students. This is our first part to the color Triad demonstration. And here we have where I have it right now, the finish. I have all the four colors painted in. So let's go to the first run of colors here, which is going to be going from purple to light blue. So I popped in a view of my palette. So as I mix the colors, you can see them there. And then you can see me painting down below. So right now, just like we did during class, I am mixing up a wash. So this is, fairly watery, but lots of blue and lots of water. I'm just trying to turn that Triceratops into a light blue, which is the color that I've chosen for that swatch. And then I'm going to go through and mix the steps in between. So I didn't realize how much of this is off the camera, just a little bit down at the bottom, but it should be fine. You can see most of what I do here. So I did the light blue, and then here I'm mixing a slightly darker version just to kind of put some shadows onto that shape, like I did with the Stegosaurus and the T-Rex over there on the right side. So, underneath the head, I'm doing a little shadow, maybe on the back horn. Almost thinking like if there's a light source on the top right, where would the shadows go? So they kind of go on the bottom left. So I'm just kind of outlining things, trying to keep it fairly simple. And I'm not going to go too far with all this. I think I do right here go in and add a lighter version of the blue. So I mixed a lot of white with a little bit of blue, and I'm kind of painting that over some of the washier parts of the Triceratops. So here we go. I think I'm about done with that stage of this. So then I'll switch over and start mixing between the blue and the purple. So I'm going to try to take 3 steps of paint, mixing first quite a bit of blue with just a little bit of purple, and then I'll go on the first little plant in between them. I guess I'm still perfecting this here, so we'll keep watching that. Here we go. A little bit of purple, mostly blue, and that's going to go on the first plant in between, closer to Triceratops, since that's the blue side. And then as I go over to the right towards the T-Rex, I'm going to slowly start adding more purple to the mixture. So there's kind of a second pass. If you start to paint your shape and it's a little bit too thin, you see a lot of white showing through, you can just kind of paint again on top of that after it dries just a little bit, and it will end up looking more opaque. Here's our second step, and this is trying to be maybe an even step between that purple on the right and the blue on the left. And what you're going to see is eventually I decide that it's not a very good step, so I'm going to go back and repaint all 3 of these at the end. But sometimes you have to kind of just put down the paint to try and decide what it looks like. So this is the third step. So this one's way more on the purple side, but has a little bit of light blue mixed into it. So you can see me mixing that up there and getting a little more white in there so it's not too dark. So now I'll paint this back behind. And the thing you should think about is, no matter what your color is, so if that's the purple for the T-Rex, this color should be different than what the T-Rex looks like. They should not be the same. If they're the same color, then you need to go back and maybe add a little more light blue to it so that it looks different. So I did that one, and then I started to say the middle one doesn't really look like a good step in between. So I've added a little darker and a little more blue, and here I am repainting the middle plant, trying to say that this needs to be just a little bit darker. And then as I did that, I started to look at the first one, and I didn't think that that was exactly looking correct. So I am going to go back and probably paint a little bit of that as well. Once I get to the point where I have those kind of lined up. So there's that one, and here I go. I'm going to try to do, and making a little light blue, mixing that in. I'm going to just pass over that first plant one more time. Okay, so we're just painting over that really quick. And then I think here at the end, what I end up doing is I'll grab a darker version and a lighter version of these colors to try and make highlights and shadows on the plants, touching up the ceratops a little bit. But what you're going to see at the end is I'm just going to grab a small liner brush and try to find little places where I can kind of fix highlights and shadows and add little bits to that. So I don't think I need to narrate that. So we'll see you in the next video.